forest. I was sleeping peacefully. However, this time I wasn't in the safety nor the comfort of my own bed. Instead, I was happily curled up under a large tree with long spanning branches that reached out in all directions to create a thick canopy where sunlight trickled down from the sky. The leaves were a vibrant green, rich and prosperous. The veins of each leaf were golden and radiated from the sunlight, causing them to glitter. The tree was ancient, timeless even. The bark of the tree was rough, jarred, and dark. It was marked with what I'm guessing to be runes, but I didn't get a close look. The trunk was thick, much wider than my arm span, and it would have taken several of my arm spans to go around the trunk. The large, thick roots created smaller protected areas and curled upwards to create smaller ones. Inside one of these hidden spaces, I was curled up. My head rested on my arm with my eyes closed as I reclined on my side. I was relaxed and clearly felt safe, and I dreamed peacefully. The shadow of the tree protected me from the worst of the sun's intense rays. Around my sleeping form, I was surrounded by a mixture of other trees in the sanctity of the forest. I could smell the soil. There were small droplets of cool water that coated my arms and legs. Here, there was no concept of time, and I wasn't sure how long I'd been there. Every so often I would slip into a dreamless sleep of colors, faces I knew and patterns. I can't recall them though. Around me were the sounds of birds chirping, singing their songs, and I cannot tell you how safe the atmosphere felt. I was at peace. Then, everything went silent. The birds stopped singing. The sun stopped shining. The sun's rays were no longer warm nor inviting. The colors appeared washed out, drained of life, of vitality, and without joy. The ground began to feel hard rather than soft and comfortable. It crumbled around me, all into a fine dust. Above me, the foliage had rotted away and began to fall from the branches. The leaves were dark, twisted, and deformed. The roots and the trunk, there were markings on it, like scratches. It trickled out an acidic blood that burned the soil. The refuge was tarnished. I opened my eyes, snapped out of the peaceful rest, and suddenly felt cold. I gazed up in despair at the tree that had been corrupted. A paradise now lost. I had a nagging feeling that I was being watched. I looked around in front of me, but I saw nothing new. Behind me, I could hear the sound of someone or something walking. No, it was shambling. My skin twisted and turned. Instinct warned me a predator was nearby. An unknown feeling of what was behind me. Yet something stopped me. I couldn't look back. I felt a hand on my shoulder grip it tight. A chilling cold breath at the back of my neck. I could smell the scent of burning flesh, and it leaned close to me. Before it got a chance to whisper into my ear, I jerked awake and gasped breathlessly into the darkness of night. I ran my hand over my face and awkwardly put my feet out to stand. I had to rinse my face with cool water. Just something. It was just a dream. And I was safe, or so I thought. I felt eyes on me still. I looked at the foot of my bed. There was a faint outline of a shadow, barely visible. The most striking thing about it was its eyes. I'll always remember the eyes. It reflected like a wolf or maybe a cat. It stared at me and I stared back at it. It didn't attack nor make any movement towards me. Instead, it slowly faded into the shadows of my room, with the eyes as a lingering presence before they too disappeared into nothing, as though it was never there. Even though it was gone, I decided it was best for me to get up and just try to focus on something, anything. I got up to do some writing and went to my natural habitat in front of the computer. Unfortunately, it doesn't end there. Several days later, a similar occurrence happened again. I was curled up in the safety of my bed, my blankets tight around my sleeping body and my arms wrapped tight around my pillow. This time, I don't remember when I had drifted off to sleep or not. I felt a heavy weight on the bed behind me. I knew something was there, but I was frozen in place as I felt two hands rest on my shoulders, almost tenderly. The hands, they weren't human. Their long fingernails went down instead of up. They were twisted and misshapen. The points dug into my flesh as it pushed down onto me. My bed groaned as it seemed to increase in weight, and I sank into the mattress, feeling it grip around me as I continued to sink. The pressure made me wince and I tried to move again, my hands outstretched to pull my body away. I couldn't move. The breath on the back of my neck returned, infamous, and I could have sworn it whispered something in my ear, in a tongue I could not decipher, in a language long forgotten by mortal ears, a treat for what was to come, perhaps a secret. The grip of the fingers tightened, gripped sharply and pierced the skin. The few droplets of blood that trickled out were boiling hot. It continued to crush me and I kept struggling to breathe. I can't remember how I managed to get away. Again, I woke up and I rushed to the computer. I had to type it out and make sense of it, trying to get the story recorded, but I know I have lost half of it, or more. When I looked at the file, there were only a few sentences or words thrown together. They did not make sense. I have yet to return to that peaceful forest, Perhaps it is restored. And my visitor has not paid me a third visit. But maybe it will. In time. Thank you for watching, my little spooklings. I hope you enjoyed this episode of SPOOKARIA'S Nightmares. Where do you think the forest was? What do you think about the entity? Feel free to leave your comments down below. Don't forget to stab or caress the like button. Check out my merch store and other social media. Stay safe, my little spooklings. And remember, I'll be watching you.